What's good, everybody? It's your boy Eddie here, and welcome back to the channel, and I hope you all are having a wonderful day. And as you guys can see by the title and the thumbnail of the video, we are switching things up for this video. So we are not doing a sneaker review. We are actually reviewing one of the most popular electric vehicles in the world, with that being a Tesla. And I decided to make the switch from my previous car because I didn't have a great experience with the dealership. But if you guys want to stay tuned and find out my full thoughts on it, stay tuned, all right? Alright y'all, so I do really hope that you enjoyed that intro that we did for this video. But before we even continue, guys, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below as well as that notification bell. And guys, the whole purpose or concept of this video is basically to show a beginner or new Tesla's owner's perspective on what it is to actually own a Tesla, because a lot of videos that you're seeing out right now is from people who literally has owned a Tesla at least for the past 5 to 6 years, which means that they are very experienced in this. I'm still learning the car as we go, literally, and sometimes I just really catch myself being stuck on how to activate certain features on the car, because overall it's a very simple car in its concept. However, the deeper you dive into the Tesla, there's a lot of extra things that you can do that are really cool when it comes to owning one. So just a quick highlight of the things that I'm going to cover within this video is my first charging experience, which some of you may actually find funny. Then after that, we're going to go over the battery of the Tesla car, which is the major question, comment, and concern that I always get when I'm discussing Teslas with people. And then after that, I'm going to briefly go over the premium connectivity and what that brings onto the table with the Tesla car. Then I'm going to conclude with my personal opinions on what I find to be the pros and cons of owning a Tesla Model Y. More specifically, I did get the 7-seater version, which I'll cover a little later, as well as the 20-inch induction wheels versus the 19-inch Gemini wheels. And that's just due to the fact that I did want the all-black rims on the car, because it just makes it look super smooth, versus the 19-inch Gemini wheels being predominantly silver with some black details on it. But they are hubcaps, and personally I am not a fan of that, just due to the fact that I grew up in New York, and just being from New York City, and especially growing up in the hood, a lot of people used to have their hubcaps stolen off their rims. So that's exactly why I don't want to rock with any hubcap. But the caveat with the induction rims is the fact that you do get an 18-mile reduction. So in my situation, I ended up getting the Tesla Model Y long range, just due to the fact that there's a lot of times where I may not drive a lot, but when I do drive, I may drive for 100 miles, 150, 200 miles, going to different states and all that type of stuff. So that's my reason why I bought it. So the estimated range on a Tesla Model Y is normally 310 miles. However, with those induction wheels, it is 292. But in reality, that's all estimations, because when I fully charge my car to 100%, it actually shows 286, which is not too far off from the 292 miles range that is shown on the Tesla website. But that is something that I just wanted to let you guys know. Now let's just go right into my first experience while charging this car. All right, y'all, so what we're doing right now is actually charging for the first time. So for the whole experience, I'm not sure what to do, but what I can really show you quickly, what you're supposed to do is hit this navigation point right here on the maps, and then you want to go to charging right there. So then I'm closest to JFK right now is what it's saying on this navigation, so that's what we're going to click. And then boom, it's going to calculate the route to see how far we are. And what I love is that it's going to be preconditioning your battery for fast charging. So you're going to want that, because if your battery's cold like it is today, I believe it's under 30 right now, so you're going to want a nice super warm battery for the most efficient charging. So basically for the charging now, we just open the charge port like that. That just popped open, so it's ready to go. And do I not have to pay for this? Oh, this is fire if I don't gotta pay for this. So I just put it in, and I believe it's gonna start charging in a second. Yep, it's green, it's charging. Super simple, literally took like 6 seconds to just plug it in. First time, and you can hear the noise, so it's charging, guys. Let's go ahead and see what it's looking like inside the car. When we actually parked here, it was about 17%. Now it's only been, what, about 4 minutes? Something like that, like 3 to 4 minutes, and we're already at 30%. So we got a 13% charge in less than 5 minutes, which is crazy to say. And the estimated charge is about 25 minutes remaining, which is super fast. And I set my limit to 80% because best practices for Tesla is to charge your car up to 80%. And if you want to do a longer charge, that's more so for long-term trips. So let's say you want to go from New York City to Connecticut or Maine or something like that. That's when you want to charge your car to 100%. And something else to mention is is that Tesla does come with a full infotainment system. So that's what this iPad looking screen thing is for here. So for example, if you're bored while you're charging, you could just look up one of my videos and then just watch it right here. And you could actually watch it at a pretty good 1080p. So that's good. So as you guys just saw, the screen went from 79 to 80% and it stopped charging now because I set that limit. And now what we're gonna wanna do is unlock the charge port. And I don't know if you guys just heard that, but it has been unlocked. So you just take it out like that. And as you guys saw, the price was about $23.76. And I don't remember the last time I've ever paid that much for a full tank of gas. It's probably been since I was 18, 19 years old. So, I mean, it's way more affordable, guys. So, I'll see you later. Now when focusing onto the battery of this car, guys, I do have to say that I am completely satisfied with it. I don't think I'm ever going back to gas. Things may change in the future, but as of right now, I do love the experience of being with an electric car. First of all, as you saw in the video, the costs are significantly cheaper. But again, one thing that I do have to note is that when I bought it last month in February, it was fully winter time. So literally I bought the car and it was a cold day. And then when I parked it, it literally started snowing. Like we had a full snowstorm, and that's kind of where you saw the little intro of the video. So because of that, I was able to see what it's like driving the Tesla in the snow, driving it in the cold, and seeing how much the battery actually went down. But I also have to admit, with that winter cold, the battery was going down significantly compared to the day before. And throughout the month, I saw kind of how the battery was going down. But one thing that I do want to note is that there's a feature on the car, which is called Sentry Mode. And it is absolutely awesome. It's basically an all-encompassing, all-seeing eye. So when you park your car, you don't necessarily have to worry. Well, anything could happen to it, but everything is being recorded while you are away from the car. And on the Tesla app, you can actually look and see how your car is doing. If anybody walking around your car or trying to open your door, you will get a notification sent to your phone and you can actually see the person. And there's also this very nice feature that you can actually talk to them. So there's a microphone button on the app and you can be like, yo, get away from my car. And it masks the actual sound of your voice. So it does this kind of deep voice that doesn't sound like your voice at all. Kind of keeps you incognito and basically alerts the thief, hey, I can see you, I see your face, I can send the cops right now, leave me alone. And I really love that feature. Obviously, this feature may not be necessary to everyone because, of course, living in New York City, there is theft, there is crimes, there's all these type of stuff going on. I actually had a situation last year where somebody broke into my car and broke the glass and all of that. I didn't have any of those nice security features, so we never found or caught the guy, unfortunately. But with this Tesla feature, you're gonna catch the person. It's a security feature that I truly recommend. Now, in bringing that security feature back to the battery, that feature absolutely drains your battery, especially if there's a lot of events going on. So for example, if you have one event, it may not do nothing to your battery, but sometimes I go to my car in the morning and see 40 security events. 95% of the time it's nothing, it's just people coming close to your car, but at least it's capturing all those moments. But again, it does significantly drain your battery. So if you don't have a personal garage or something like that, keep that feature on, man, even if it drains your battery. Now, when it comes to the supercharging experience, it's usually a 5 to 25 minute time depending on how busy it is. So one thing I want to emphasize about the Tesla is the fact that it's definitely a lifestyle change that you're going to have to make once you get one, because as a previous gas owner, you are used to, at least me, waiting till you got about 10 miles left, maybe 5 miles less, or maybe empty. I used to push it with my gas car. And then, you know, I would just pop it in and fill it. And that would be like, what, a 2 to 3 minute transaction. Now with the Tesla, at least in my scenario, we have a 250 kilowatt charger. That speeds the process up immensely. And normally it would take about 25 to 30 minutes, depending on how low the battery is, for me to get to that 80% charge. Because as I mentioned in the charging portion of this video, the best practices or standards that Tesla recommends is to charge your battery up to 80%. And you only want to charge it 100% if you're going to do a very long drive. So for example, if you're going state to state, if you're driving from New York City to Connecticut or New York City to Philly, you definitely want to get that 100% charge so you can get that 286 to 310 mileage range that the Tesla Model Y comes with, depending on the features that you have on the car. There's definitely a lot of savings when owning a Tesla versus a gas car, because just based off the gas prices, especially right now, we're doing about 50 to 60% less than what I normally would pay for the car that I had before. Normally would be about $47 to $52 depending on what the prices are. And with that charge I just did, it was $23. The highest I've ever paid was probably $33, $34 for that 100% charge, which again, still doesn't come close to that $47 to $52 charge that I would normally get. So now when looking into the premium connectivity feature, guys, I'm briefly gonna go over this. It's basically your one-stop shop for everything with that little iPad display that comes with the Tesla, and I love it. Unfortunately, you only get 1 free month for it once you buy the car. Today it actually expires, so I will be buying the yearly membership, which is about $100 if you buy it up front for the year, or $9.99 a month, which I'm not going to subscribe. I'm just going to buy it flat out because I just want that charge to go away. But the things that it comes with is, of course, navigation, live traffic, and it's actually one of the best. It's very comparative to Google Maps. It's excellent. In the city, you do get icons on the map that shows you where there's speed lights and cameras and all that type of stuff too, which is awesome. And there's other things with premium connectivity that I love, such as the karaoke, which is basically karaoke in the car, same exact thing, and music streaming, which I'm a big music lover. I completely need the music, and that may kind of lead to one of the cons that I'm going to mention later in the video. It also comes with internet browsing, but of course I have a phone, I have a laptop, I have 5G, I have a hotspot, so I don't necessarily need that. But the basic connectivity is literally only the navigation system. So it won't tell you when the traffic is changing, if it's going to be a gridlock, if it's going to be light traffic. It'll just say, hey, it's 10 minutes to get here, but in reality, it's probably gonna be 30 minutes due to the traffic. So that's just some of the many things that premium connectivity offers. And now, guys, what you've been looking for, the pros versus cons. So I'm going to get the cons out of the way first because I don't really like negativity. I like getting it out the way. The car paint, absolutely one of the most fragile car paints that I've ever seen. I think it's due to the fact that the Tesla brand uses a clear coating, but literally it's very easy to scratch the car. Literally, I just went to Connecticut for something and I parked by some bushes, and over the night it was very windy. And when I came back to my car the next morning, there was slight scratches on the back of the car. It wasn't no small bushes. It was actually some of those tough, brittle bushes. But again, if the wind is pushing it, I don't think that should scratch up my car like it did. It's not that much of a big deal because to the naked eye, nobody's really gonna ever see that scratch on it. But I'm just crazy like that. I love keeping my car or my items crystal clean or as clean as possible. But that little scratch kind of got me upset. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw it the next morning, that got me dripped. Another thing in regards to the car paint is that if you don't wanna have scratches on your car, you should do hand washes. They have the 2-bucket method, but I can't really do that because I don't have like a house or a little backyard or a garage to do it in. But if you do have one, you absolutely have no problem with cleaning your car. Because if you go into a touchless car wash, those bristles are actually going to scratch up the car. I saw a lot of images, videos, and pictures on it. When I just got this car, I made sure that I literally checked all of the areas that are nearby me that do nice hand washes and details. And because of that, it's going to cost way more. So of course, with those detailed hand washes, I'm going to take a financial hit because that costs more than a regular touchless car wash. But I'm willing to take that again because I want to make sure that my car looks good and it's not going to be scratched up everywhere. So again, that's another con that I want to mention. I'm not even gonna lie, guys, after the video I did go to one of those automated car washes that uses the bristles, and I'm going to be completely honest, it did not scratch up the car at all. But what I will say is that I would not ever try that again because I do not want to end up like those people in the Reddits where it was actually really scratched up due to the fact that they did go to those automated car washes. So this is something that I just wanted to put in the video because literally, look at that. No scratches at all. It's actually pretty good. Also, the battery, it's a pro and a con because of course I love the fact that I'm paying way less for this electric charge versus gas fuels. But when it comes to the weather conditions, that does affect the battery. So in the winter, you're getting less range than what you would in a gas car. But again, that's just a trade-off that you're gonna have to take because again, you're getting cheaper fuel, but that comes with less range in the winter. Not a bad trade-off, to be honest, because now we're transitioning into the spring and the summer. Beautiful weather, and I haven't been having any problem with the mileage that I'm getting with my car. So it was actually pretty cool with my personal experience that I was able to see the bad first, and now I'm reaping the benefits of the beautiful weather. The car lasts long. I don't have to charge it as much just due to the fact that the weather's nice and beautiful. So, you know, it's cool. I'll take the trade-off. Next, another con, which is not really an issue right now, but it's something that I do want to mention because I live in New York City, which is a highly populated place. So maybe that's the reason I do have a lot of superchargers near me. But in some other states and cities, the network may not be as fast. So that's just something I want to mention. So again, JFK is not far from me, And I also have like 2 or 3 supercharging stations, again, not too far from me. So there's one north, south, east, and west, which I could get into 20 minutes for less. And there's also some other charging stations such as ChargePoint, EV charging, Charge Connect if I'm not mistaken, Blink charging, and there's just more charging stations. With those other suppliers that I just named, they don't charge as fast as the Tesla Supercharger because again, it is a Tesla Supercharger. Normally you would find those type of suppliers in malls, by supermarkets, movie theaters, and all that type of stuff where they know you're going to be there for a while, so it's not even a big deal. But it wouldn't matter regardless because the car was going to sit there anyways because you're either watching a movie, out with the fam eating, or shopping at the mall, which all usually takes an hour to 3 hours depending on how long you stay there, right? Another con that I briefly want to mention is the fact that it doesn't come with Apple CarPlay, which is an extremely insignificant con, but for those people who live and die by CarPlay, which I used to be one of those people, that's a con that I would just like everybody to know. But there's a major benefit, which I'll get into later into the video. Let's get into the pros. The price savings, or as they say on their website, the possible price savings. With the Tesla, it is relatively a low maintenance car. You don't have to do any oil changes. You don't have to pay for gas anymore. You pay electric and it is super cheap, as I mentioned before. Also, if you're an environmentalist, charging your Tesla is way less harmful than the fossil fuels and oils that come from gas and oil companies and all that type of stuff. So that's another benefit to it. Also, speed. I'm going to say a disclaimer right here because I am not incentivizing or urging anybody to speed their cars, but with the Tesla, even with the Model Y, it is super fast. It's probably going to dust, and by dust I mean speed by most cars when going in a straight line. Literally, with this long range version, the car goes from 0 to 60 in about 4.8 seconds. Performance model is about 3.5 seconds. But anyways, even without that beautiful torque and acceleration that you feel when you go from 0 to 60, it goes really fast, like without even trying. I'm telling you, you barely got to put your foot on the pedal. When you're on the highway, you out of here, bro. So for my speedsters, Teslas are very fast and are probably beating most cars when driving in a straight line on the highway. Just putting that out there. Another benefit, the space that comes with the car. And this goes across all of the other Tesla models, not even just my Model Y. You have a frunk, which is a front trunk. And this is due to the fact that Teslas don't have any engines. With that extra space, they were actually able to make a trunk in the front of the car, and it actually is pretty spacious. You can fit book bags, groceries, jackets if you want to, even a nice size suitcase in the front if you want to, and you also have trunk space. So with the 7-seater that I do have, you do lose a little bit of space in the back of the trunk because with the 5-seaters where the 2 other seats would be with the 7-seater, there's actually some more undercarriage space. You also get an undercarriage space right at the beginning of the trunk, but that's the only thing that you lose with the 7-seater. But the reason why I got the 7-seater was just for the option to have it. So for example, let's say you're out with friends and they didn't drive, you now have those 2 extra seats in the back. It's not the most spacious and not the most comfiest, but at least I would be able to take some friends or a family member or whoever home instead of them having to pay for an Uber or anything like that. So that's why I got it. I haven't used the 7 seats yet since I got the car, but I'm sure in that 1 in a million scenario is going to be worth that $2,500 upgrade that I did. Next, another benefit that I want to mention, which to me is another main selling point of the Tesla, is the technology. To me, Tesla isn't really a car brand. They're a technology brand that just happens to make cars. We saw that Apple tried to do it. It was a 10-year, multi-billion-dollar investment, and they recently just canceled it because they realized how hard it is to actually transition from your amazing software, technology, and hardware and apply that to a car. So Tesla was able to successfully do that and create their niche market. Actually, to correct that, I wouldn't necessarily say niche. I would just say their unique market. Because again, Apple's one of the biggest companies in the world with some of the best technology ever made, and they just weren't able to transition. But with that technology that comes with the car, you also have that beautiful iPad-looking display infotainment system. As I mentioned earlier, we have karaoke, we have different music streamings, and this ties back into the con that I mentioned when I said it doesn't have Apple CarPlay. I was really devastated when I found out that the Teslas don't come with Apple CarPlay. However, their whole infotainment system is more than suitable enough, if not better. I was worried that my iMessaging wasn't going to work the same way with the gas car because, again, with Apple, you're so used to their ecosystem and how beautiful everything aligns. So I was worried about that. But with the Tesla, you can do the same voice commands and it's pretty efficient and smart. The car will tell you the text messages and what it says through the same exact system, and you can hear the voice notes. So it works pretty much the same exact thing. The only difference is that it doesn't say Apple. But with that same Tesla infotainment system, you still have Spotify, you still have Apple Music, but you just don't have that Apple CarPlay system. So again, all the technology that's featured with the car. You got so many more things that you can do with the technology of the car, but I'm going to save that for a separate video. So a couple of things that I do want to mention is that I do really hope that you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did making it for y'all. Also, there will be more Tesla videos coming down the line. I really love this car. I was never really a car guy. I was just a hoopty or just a regular Toyota guy. I wasn't too crazy into cars, but I do have to say, ever since I got this Tesla, I've gotten more and more interested in the car. I've literally bought so much accessories for the car to make it look better. Obviously, it's a leased vehicle, so I can't do any crazy things like wraps and all that type of stuff. Just little details and accessories that I bought for the car, which again, I will also make a video on that. And it's just so many things that I'm learning about this car and just cars in general now. Also, another thing that I want to mention is that this is not the end for my sneaker videos. Guys who've been watching me since the beginning of my YouTube journey, sneakers are always going to be my core. You're always going to get reviews every time a hype sneaker, a collaborative sneaker, or just a sneaker I like comes out. I'm going to do that whether it gets 10,000, 30,000, 50,000 views, or if it gets 100 views, which it just happens. Guys, I just want to mention to y'all is to believe in your dreams, commit to them, keep going. Don't ever give up no matter what anybody tells you. Obviously, make sure that you're not losing your livelihood while doing your passion, because then those two things are very conflicting. You want to make sure that your regular life is sustained while building up your dreams. And with that being said, guys, I really do hope that you enjoyed this video. So do not forget, please, to like, share, comment, subscribe, share with your friends and family and all that. And guys, I'll catch y'all in another video. Peace.